Tell your friends! Tell your friends about Hooks and Ladders, but also about songstudio.ca. You can get all kinds of information about songwriting, tips, and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, like, follow, and subscribe. That's what we need. That's what you need.
How did you develop like your critical person looking at your lyrics?
Oh,
Did
tough
you
one.
find, that turning point where you
Yep.
realized you're communicating?
Okay, so that's a good one, because lyrics to me are like, if I'm embarrassed by it or if I spot a cliche, right, I'm really careful with those. And sometimes I'll hear what's going to become a cliche. I'll hear it early on and go, oh, great title. And then 6 months later, if I hear, oh, people are saying that all the time now, it's like, I'm not going to say it. I just don't want to. I'm trying to say all the things that have been said in songs before. I'm just trying to say them in a unique way, and not fall back on cliche lyrics, or not fall back on simple rhymes are okay, as long as they're done in a way where I'm not embarrassed. Sometimes it's just self-embarrassment. If I read something that's just really embarrassing, or quite often I'll just do lyrics that are just placeholders, just to kind of get in there, but come back later and kind of go, well, that's a placeholder, but it's actually okay. It's a good example. So I have a song. I'll keep going on that album because most people know those songs. There's a song called Cosmetics. I don't know if you've heard that one, but it's got this bass line. Anyway, it's a song about very a superficial kind of model, right? And the chorus in that one, I was at first embarrassed about, but then I wasn't. But I was analyzing, because it was that high fashion, high fashion model magazines, runways of ageless beauty queens, and everything for the girl next door, right? And I'm reading high fashion model magazines, runways of ageless beauty queens, everything for the girl next door. Is that really? But then in the context of the song, I thought, no, that's right. That actually is working with the rest of it. It's working with the vibe of the music and everything. And so I'm not as embarrassed by it as I thought I would be at first. I think,
The specific language, did you get to a point where you felt like you needed like more mature language that you to get more universal?
more mature language.
Like, I guess as writers kind of develop, but there's a point where you can, cross a certain threshold where you're a more seasoned writer.
Yes.
I guess, what is that boundary? What are the parameters to get to that stuff?
Yeah. So, boy, that's okay. Quick would be keep writing a lot. I remember reading one time that Steven Tyler, the guy from Aerosmith, that when he's doing lyrics, it's page after page after page. Like he's writing all kinds of stuff. And then, so I remember trying that method at one point. You just keep writing like crazy, and then throw away whatever's crap, whatever's 90% of it's going to throw. But you're going to hit on certain things and go, that's okay. That's within my personal judge of what gets across the finish line and what doesn't. That's okay. But if you're overthinking it or trying to be judgmental in the moment, I think that's the point of what I'm trying to say. That chorus, had I been really overly judgmental in the moment, I would have never done that. But instead, it was part of the whole batch that I wrote. If you write a lot of lyrics and throw away the bad stuff, there's probably enough good stuff there that expresses what you wanted to say. I think that's how you get past that threshold, I think.
And that's in a micro sense, like to do with, writing songs on your own, but also in a macro sense, writing a lot of songs over the course of years. Yeah. You're developing your own aesthetic.
Yeah.
Right, your own taste, and you also, listening to a lot of music too. A lot of songwriters I know stopped listening to songs when they started writing songs. 'Cause
Bad
they're like,
idea.
I don't need other people's music. I'm writing my
Yeah.
own, and it's like, no, now you need other people's music more than ever.
I saw a really good. I watch these little tutorials, on YouTube and all that when I'm in the hotel rooms, and one that I saw. Let me think about that for a second. Yeah, one that I saw recently had to do with production. Yeah, because I'm trying to make better sounding, and learn some real production things to give my engineering chops a little bit better. And what he talked about related very well to songwriting. He said, here's what I do. I put whatever I'm working on. I was working on dance music. It was EDM stuff, right? When I'm working, I'll take something that's I'm trying to get to, and I'll put that on there on the track and use that as a reference track back and forth for what he's trying to make his track sound like, right? But I thought there's nothing wrong with that if you had 2 or 3 great songs on tracks there that you just kind of bounce over to them every once in a while, not to copy them in any way, but kind of measure yourself against you're measuring what you're coming up with against what's acceptably really good right now. I think a lot of good work comes out of that.
I think that's a great idea, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like just throwing them up, if you're using a multi-track, just put them up so that you can
just bounce it, just
mute
solo
them
them for a second and kind of go,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Because I'm aiming for that. So if I'm aiming for, I'm just trying to think of an example. If I'm aiming for, each morning I get up, I die a little, can't barely stand on my feet. If you're aiming for something that's got that kind of thing to it, good idea to kind of put that on there and kind of go, and then your own song's like, hey everybody, I'm digging at this. Well, that's stupid, but anyway, but something that's jaunty like that, etc., and jump back and forth. You're still going to make it your own in the end anyway.
I think it's important. I can just imagine, maybe not in this room, but I can imagine people thinking, no, I would never do that because, I want to create my own thing. And I can understand that impulse.
Yeah.
But I also think that if you're writing songs for any length of time and in any quantity, you have to look for other ways to inspire you and to sort of kick your ass, basically.
Yeah.
And you have to set rules for yourself. That's something else that other writers often reject the idea of. They don't want to set boundaries, but boundaries are our friends.
Yeah,
because they lock you into something and now you must produce something like that. And I really think that these sort of mind tricks are important for a creative person to be able to respond to the world outside, which includes music and includes great songs. Yeah,
those little mind tricks. Yeah, there's ways of finding those that I think it's good to constantly kind of keep measuring yourself against what's out there.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing. Yes.
Your voice is so amazing, obviously, but it's also distinctive.
Yeah.
And when you're writing, how does your voice influence your writing? Like I know you've got your piece, but is it a third?
So I'm trying to stay with. You know what it is? A lot of the songs are so bloody high, in pitch, right? That's why I can't hit some of those notes this morning. Disclaimer for anyone who's watching this. Or you know what you can do? Just tune the vocals. Anyway, part of it is I'd get excited about an idea or so, and my voice would keep going up in pitch. So you end up with, these moonlight desires on me, and you're way up there, right? And you're like, couldn't you have just lowered it down? These moonlight desires on me, but no, the excitement kind of took me to there. And the biggest part of that was I just wanted to be a singer. I just wanted it a lot. And I'll give you one little biographical story of that. Because I grew up in Scarborough. And so you'd hear bands practicing in garages and basements and stuff like that. Stuff you don't hear now, unfortunately, because everybody's got earbuds and they can all kind of... But you'd hear bands playing. So I'd always be riding my bike around and hear this band's working on this band's trying to do that, and that's the wrong chord, and these guys, right? Stuff like that. And but I wanted to sing, and there was a guy that lived a few blocks away who had an actual Les Paul guitar, so he's in. And so I was over at his house, and I just can't remember what songs we were trying to pull together. I was about 15 years old, shortly after my voice was starting to change. It has changed, I hope. And I was down in his basement, and we'd been down there, I'm singing whatever the hell I was singing, probably some Guess Who song or something like that. And I hear his mom calling. She goes, Gary, can I speak to you for a minute? Just come upstairs for a second. Yeah. He goes up, and now, I'm down in the quiet of the basement, and I hear his mom say, Lawrence Gowan, he's very good on the piano, but tell him not to sing. Tell him not, he's terrible. He's terrible.
Oh, no.
And and I'm just thinking like, you lady. I'm gonna sing no matter what. I'm definitely gonna be the singer.